guys, welcome back to my channel. If you were here last week, sound quality was absolute garbage, and I gotta apologize for that in retrospect. But got smart, got some Bluetooth headphones, got them on now, so hopefully this should all work out fine. I don't know exactly what the focus of this video is going to be. I just feel that I just had the feeling that I needed to start recording and start pulling cards. So I guess I'm just going to start doing that. I'm going to pull 6 cards. In just a moment here. So I was wrong. I have pulled 7 cards. Thank you for being patient with me through that. So I know this has a lot to do with the upcoming 11/11, like Gateway, Portal, whichever one you want to call it. I know that there is some crazy energy going on because we're, I don't know, like Scorpio, and we're also in the smack dab in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. So it's going to be a real interesting week next week. A lot of things are going to happen. I can tell you that now. I think that this reading has something to do with options, so I think that let me show you. So I have 7 cards here. These 4, I know that they're talking about options. Like, they might be some options that we have, or like just something. We're gonna find out as we go along. These 3 cards over here, I think that they have to do with like possible outcomes of the different choices that we're gonna make when we're going through this different energy. So I apparently can't flip my camera while I'm recording, and I know y'all don't want to sit here with my shaky hand holding this the whole time, so I'm gonna flip back around. I'll be right back. Normally I would say something about what each card means before I flip each one over, but I don't think that's one of my options today. These 4 cards, I just need to flip them, and then we're gonna find out what that means. Okay, so, okay, alright, okay, pause. 2 of these cards, Jesus, I gotta figure out a better setup. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm just gonna have to keep flipping. Alright, so if any of y'all watched my reading last week, it was a general reading about the Mercury retrograde, and 2 of the cards that we got were the 5 of Cups reversed and the Emperor also reversed, if I'm remembering correctly. I will have to check last week's reading to know for sure if this was one of the cards that we got. I suggest you check it out as well, but if you watch that reading, you're definitely going to want to have the captions on, because my sound quality, again, garbage. So I figured it out. I fucking figured it out. Okay, excuse my French, my Francois, but I figured it out, and I'm a genius. So we have some options. Our options in this coming week are going to be to ride the energy, be the Emperor. He's looking straight ahead. I'm gonna give you more. Like I said last week, and like I'll tell you, I guess, in every video, I am still learning the cards a little bit. So there may be points when I'll have to double check the Google for the exact meaning and more detail about what exactly it means. But I know that the Emperor, he's calm, reserved. He's a fatherly figure. He's got this red robe. And like the rams here, it's like he's connected kind of to like some Aries energy, which oh, some of y'all know how I feel about Aries. Is y'all can be an interesting group, I'll say it that way. But one thing I will say is that this Aries energy, it's very determined. He's looking straight forward. So he's determined, he's straightforward, and he's the Emperor. He's on his shit. He's in charge of it. So our options this upcoming week are going to be to ride the energy up and ascend, and then we have over here the star. Again, another card that I'm going to have to look a little bit more into, but just looking at this card, the water often represents emotions, so, she's calm in these emotions. She's looking up at this one bright star, little cute white bird. Usually represents peace. So like we can choose to act like the Emperor and ascend, or we've got the Five of Cups, which if you were here last week, you know that the Five of Cups has a lot to do with, look at him. He's looking over here at these spilled cups. Yeah, okay, so you spilled 3 cups, but turn around, look at what you got behind you, and there's still 2 cups. They probably got, they're probably full of wine. He's probably fine. He could get wasted off of just these 2 cups. But all he's thinking about is what's spilled. Literally crying over spilled milk. So our options are to ascend or descend. So if we're going to sit here and cry over spilled milk and not look at the things we do have, only look at the things we don't, then we're going to descend into the Seven of Cups, which is not necessarily a bad card, but, if you are on the wave of people, starting businesses right now, a lot of us are starting YouTube channels. If you're on the wave of people trying to start something right now, and you're only looking at what you have, what you don't have, you're not turning around and looking at what you have, you're going to descend, and the Seven of Cups has a lot to do with, getting caught up in delusions. And thinking about what you don't have is, when you're starting something, when you're trying to make something of yourself or of a talent that you have, whatever, if you're looking at what you don't have, you're delusional. You need to start looking at what you do have and how you can use that to your advantage. And I mean, he's looking straight forward. He's got a scepter in his hand, and he's got this fancy ball. If you look at what you do have, you know what, actually, God, I'm recording on my phone. I don't have a setup, and my internet is slow as shit, so I have to stop this video to give you a little bit more detail about this. I will be right back. Okay, so I checked into the meaning of everything a little bit more so that I could have a better idea on what this spread is really trying to tell us. The Emperor, he is representative of, I was pretty correct. Like I've told y'all, I'm learning, I'm trying. One thing that I missed here though is structure. So this is authoritativeness, but not in a bad domineering way, in a being on top of your stuff, being authoritative in the decisions that you make, and having structure. And this is peace and opportunities, and just abundance, like an overflow. Like she's got more water than her hands can hold. She ain't thirsty. She's good. You know who's thirsty? Somebody that's not looking at everything that they have. So this is a lot about pessimism and just regret and disappointment. So if you're sitting there and soaking up your regrets right now, the Seven of Cups actually does talk about opportunities and choices. So if you're sitting in your regrets and your failures and, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, then you may have opportunities, but your ego may get the better of you. You might pass up the things that you think are wrong, but you're not really listening to your higher self and your intuition. You need to listen to yourself and just don't get caught up with any grand ideas and anything like that. So let's see. I know that these cards, I need to go back. I was going to move on, but I really need to not move on. I said don't get caught up with any grand ideas. There's some very big energy happening here in this upcoming week. Hello, Mabel. Hi. That's my baby. There is some very big energy happening in this upcoming week, but just don't get caught up in things that are impractical. Like if there's a little part of you that maybe you've got an idea, you want to make it happen, you want to go now, but if there's a little part of you that's saying it's not time yet, then maybe take a listen to that and just really ruminate and think about what you've got in your hands before you got dragons and stuff. So let's see what some possible outcomes right here might be. Okay, so this looks like it might be good. We've got the... Okay, you know what, I will be right back. I need to know exactly what the in-depth meaning of these cards are before I tell you anything. I'll be right back. So these cards need to move a little bit because this needs to go down here and these are here. So this is coming forward. So if we decide to follow the ascension path, then some possible outcomes. We have the World and the Six of Rods, which translates in a lot of decks to the Six of Wands, but I have a fancy deck, maybe not so fancy, but it's just a different kind of deck. So I have the World, which talks about completion. Same it's funny, the same person, but now we've got this complete circle. We've got strength, we've got wisdom, and we've got the Six of Wands, or rods. So this is also success. It's it's determination. It's moving forward even when you've got all this heavy things to carry. And look at... Okay, you see this wreath? You see this wreath? Synchronicity. So we've got a pattern here. And... oh, hey, would you look at that? He is wearing a wreath around his head as well. So we've got a very clear path that we can choose to follow here. We can have structure, and we can ascend, and look at that. It looks like we've got some of these leaves and vines and stuff, but now we've used our structure and our wisdom to just make them into this wreath that it feels complete, and it is successful, and now we can carry it with us moving forward. Now if we decide to ruminate in all the things that we don't have and be a pessimist right now, we're gonna get here and we're gonna have a bunch of opportunities, but we're so in our delusions of all the things that we don't have that we're probably gonna pass them up, or at least some of them, because you might not pass up a cup with a dope little fairy in it, but A tentacle monster? Maybe not. Sorry about that. Video cut out for some reason. So, back to what I was saying. If we take this path, then we are leading ourselves through our own delusions of not having and, failure and regrets. Through our own delusions, we're leading ourselves to a reverse Seven of Pentacles. Now, upright, this man's in the field, he's working, he's exhausted, but he's got, like, the fruits of his labor right in front of him. He may be exhausted, but it's all coming together. Now, reverse. This card in reverse has to do with a lack of long-term planning, or a lack of structure. This isn't what we want to do, guys. Like, we definitely want to try to ascend as best as we can, and I know that not all of us are going to on this wave, and that doesn't mean that we still can't, but oh shit, 7-7, look at that. So again, the synchronicities are just confirming for me, and hopefully you as well, that, like, there's a very clear path upwards, and then there's a very clear other direction that we can go in. And if we decide to follow this path, this is also talking about kind of a lack of success. So if we're confident, if we structure ourselves, then we're gonna succeed. We're gonna march on, and we're gonna have, we're gonna have all of our progress to carry with us. But if we decide not to, then we're not gonna have much left to show for it. Sorry about that. Video cut out for some reason. So, back to what I was saying. If we take this path, then we are leading ourselves through our own delusions of not having and, failure and regrets. Through our own delusions, we're leading ourselves to a reverse Seven of Pentacles. Now, upright, this man's in the field, he's working, he's exhausted, but he's got, like, the fruits of his labor right in front of him. He may be exhausted, but it's all coming together. Now, reverse. This card in reverse has to do with a lack of long-term planning, or a lack of structure. This isn't what we want to do, guys. Like, we definitely want to try to ascend as best as we can, and I know that not all of us are going to on this wave, and that doesn't mean that we still can't, but oh shit, 7-7, look at that. So again, the synchronicities are just confirming for me, and hopefully you as well, that, like, there's a very clear path upwards, and then there's a very clear other direction that we can go in. And if we decide to follow this path, this is also talking about kind of a lack of success. So if we're confident, if we structure ourselves, then we're gonna succeed. We're gonna march on, and we're gonna have, we're gonna have all of our progress to carry with us. But if we decide not to, then we're not gonna have much left to show for it. So if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments, or, subscribe and hit that notification button, so that you can get updated on the reading next week, because there's definitely going to be another one. Wow, what a reading, guys. Here it is. Now that it's been laid out like this for me, I'm definitely going to try to choose this path, but definitely try to steer clear away from lower vibrations right now. Wow. So yeah, come back next week. There's going to be another reading. I'm going to check in with the universe and see where we're at, as we're, in a week from now, we'll be nearing the end of the retrograde, I believe. So we'll see where we're at after this portal has opened, this 11/11 portal has opened, after we've gone through the large energy shift, and after we have all chosen where we're going to go. I will check in with you guys in a week. So, like I said, just hit that subscribe button if you resonated with this, and I will keep you updated. Thank you. Goodbye. In this video, and then Maple, my dog, was scratching at the bed next to me, where my tarot deck is. So I was like, "Yeah, get down." But lo and behold, this, the Knight of Pentacles, is one of the cards for certain that we got last week. And this is just a last little confirmation that we need to stop and look at the coin in our hand, pentacle, before we spend it. So yeah, again, structure, resilience, just be on that higher vibration right now, because that's what's gonna give you success. So thank you for joining me while I did this reading. It's gonna be a real intense week, y'all. I will leave some info for you down below. If this resonated with you, let me know down below in the comments. And hit that subscribe button, notifications, and all that good jazz, so you can get updated next week when I check in with you towards the end of the Mercury retrograde, when all the craziness has already done the crazy. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.